Hello there guys, BladeWolf88 here, and yeah, I made a video. Don't know why I'm making this video. I'm not sure if I'm coming back to doing YouTube content again or becoming a content creator. I've taken a massive step back from a lot of social media for quite some time now, for various reasons. And I've been spending a lot of that time with my partner, a lot of that time with friends, and a colossal amount of time playing Fallout 76, especially with the most recent update. And after chatting with a few different people in a few different communities on Twitch, I figured I would make this little video just to essentially just show off, really. Don't know if you're aware, there is a new Brotherhood of Steel update to Fallout 76 at the moment, which closes off the Steel Rain campaign that they released earlier. So I've been having a lot of fun getting into that, as both myself and my partner are very big Brotherhood of Steel fans. And so I wanted to show off my Brotherhood of Steel camp. My camp is located up here. Nick obviously aptly named it the Brotherhood Outpost, and it is just north of the Pumpkin House and just to the southwest of the Red Rocket Megastop Workshop. So it's got quite close by access for taking over workshops for junk, aluminum, steel, water, food and nuclear, so that's handy. Or I can pop up here to the munitions factory and make ammo, and also get things like lead, oil, silver, bits like that. So nice and easily accessible, especially also if you decide to access Vault 79 for buying those trademark Boolean plans. But enough about the location, let me show you where it is. And here it is here. Uses a lot of Brotherhood stuff. A lot of this stuff was off the Atom Store. The tower specifically is from the Brotherhood Recruitment Bundle. If there are any pieces or items that you notice in the video that you would like to know where I got them from or how I did that, just chuck a comment in the description. I'll happily help explain it to you. So the basic premise of my build area here is that the Brotherhood, having returned to Appalachia after extended absence, are trying to re-establish a foothold. So they're creating these checkpoints on their journey south through Appalachia. And upon discovering this abandoned military convoy from the pre-war, they decided it would be a good place to set up because it has close proximity to fuel at the Red Rocket over there, and it has access to, we could probably dismantle these tanks and jeeps for parts and materials to try and re-establish and recapture that pre-war technology and really start to make a dent in bringing Appalachia back to life. So let's come in here. So I've got some barricading set up around here to defense the position. A nice little cigarette station. They can have a little cigarette while they're on patrol. We have our lovely scavenger bot who goes out and gets his materials and makes really annoying comments while you're trying to talk to people. We have the statue, the Brotherhood Infantry statue here to represent the plight and struggles of the Brotherhood as they progress into Appalachia and the heroes that they lost along the way. And this is one of the main reasons I picked this area. With the Wastelanders update to Fallout 76, we added NPCs back to the game, as well as companions. And this area is a naturally occurring area for Brotherhood initiates and recruits to spawn. So I wanted to choose this area to give it a much more lived-in feel. So it felt more populated, like it was more part of the world. So you have these guys walking around, which unfortunately a lot of my friends love to come through here and murder all of my NPCs. Purely because they drop loot and just because my friends are assholes. But you know, what can you do? We also have another statue here, the Hero of the Wasteland, which is just an amazing statue. Like, it's phenomenal. I love the way this looks. And you can press the button, and it causes a big old nuclear explosion. I mean, if you're playing Fallout and you don't like nukes, you're playing the wrong game. And I suggest you go play Hello Kitty Island Adventure instead. But we also have the medical tent. I mean, for something very simple, I love the way this turned out. It took a lot of work to sort of just shape things and glitch things into position properly, but I created this little medical tent here, and this is one of the companions, Solomon Hardy. You can unlock him, or I unlocked him from the previous scoreboard event, and you can talk to these guys, and they can do all sorts of different things for you. So this guy, he can remove rads, he can heal you, you can just have conversations with him, but he has medical services like this. So he can patch you up, he can get rid of your rads, he can get rid of diseases, he even sells different items to you as well, different medical supplies. We also have we have this little guy, look Cardinal here. This is in the most recent scoreboard. I've just unlocked this because they've just started to add camp pets. And this little guy, I thought he would be perfect to help deal with PTSD for soldiers. You know, they can see the bird and help calm them down, keep them soothed and stuff like that. We've got the wheelchair. I glitched this PC into the desk here, so it looks like he has a terminal at his desk. We have science, lots of science. We move further along, we have the symptomatic here to use, which basically removes diseases and bits like that, so it's like a high-tech cure-all type deal. We have the northern defense area here with apparently teleporting guys. How the hell did you do that? I did not requisition stealth boys for this operation. You should not be using those. But yeah, so we have an outpost here on the end, so we've got some lights set up here, which for some reason are not powered, which I have no idea why that is, but I'll fix that in a moment. And at night time I turn these on, so they do searchlights back and forth along here, overlooking the red rocket as a source of energy and fuel and bits like that. The great thing here is the NPCs will interact with different objects, like you'll find them searching these boxes, they will search inside here, there's ammo boxes to loot and bits like that. And if we go around the back here, there is room for planting crops and that, if that's your kind of thing. Obviously more defensible stations here, and this little playground I've jokingly decided to call, this is the Brotherhood training course. This is how the Brotherhood forges its elite. I mean, just look at this. You've got hardcore slides, you've got rungs, you've got swings. I mean, everything a true Brotherhood soldier would need to train himself up, ready to conquer the wastes. One little thing here you'll notice at the back, this little guy is floating a bit. So I've covered it over with these like armoured pieces at the back here, just purely because there's no way to position that tower so that it wasn't slightly floating in some places. So it's an inevitable thing there that couldn't be avoided, unfortunately. So then if we move back round to the front, we have a little miniature armory here, and then obviously at night time we have these little lights here which turn on, and you have like a tracking light which surveys the area. We have a nice laser grid door to protect it, and inside we have our first armory. So we have the Gatling laser, we have the Crusader pistol, which just looks beautiful. I'm so glad they updated these display cases to allow these to work, because before the most recent update you couldn't see Crusader pistols on display cases. They would show up as invisible. We had a minigun, we have the swamp camo hazmat suit, because Brotherhood guys, you know, they're not going to have the bog standard bright yellow thing. They're going to have something a bit more militaristic, something a bit more high tech. So they have this awesome thing here. This lady here is a very special lady. One of my friends, Spike Johnson, you'll find him on Twitch. When he first came to my house and came to check out my camp, this lady was actually glitched inside the symptomatic. And he climbed in the symptomatic with her. They had a beautiful, beautiful moment. A very loving moment, and I decided to immortalise that by stealing her clothes and putting them on a mannequin. Mainly because she died getting out the symptomatic, but we don't talk about that bit. We talk about the positives. We have which armor is this? I can't remember. So yeah, this is the Recon armor. This was from the Daily Op. I spent the time grinding the Daily Ops to unlock the full set for this, just because I think it looks amazing. We then have the Brotherhood Scribe set over here with the beret. We have some nuka launchers. We have the Fat Man. We have the Hellstorm launcher. Some nice little tasty toys. So I've set this up basically as a miniature, like, quick access armory. Once I've unlocked the power armor displays, they will be going here and here, so I can present my lovely power armor to the world. We have the emergency supply cache, which, just as you can see there, just looks phenomenal. Looks really, really cool. Lots of detail on that. And then we come across to the main tower. Again, I've got another emergency supply stash here, because obviously you never know when you're going to get attacked in the wasteland. You've got to be on your toes. Once again, at night time, we have these little switches here we turn on, so we have lights to block the area. And we also have one of my favourite doors. I don't know why, but I love this door. It's so simple, but it just looks so good. It really captures that vibe of like the re-emerging Brotherhood. So you set foot in the tower, we have all of our crafting areas here, we have our chemistry station with a little robot Stein on it, we have our sort of engineering section over this side with some diagrams and bits like that, we have our perk card point, which as of one of the most recent updates, you can have different perk loadouts. It's very handy to have one of those stationed around. We have a scrap box, we have our lovely armor bench here, which we use to upgrade and prepare our power armor for our ventures out into the wasteland. We have my vending machine, which is off at the moment because I'm at max caps, so I don't want people buying my stuff and me not making any money from it. And then if we take a little route upstairs, obviously we have to represent the Brotherhood fully ad victoriam every step of the way, which if you're unaware, that's the main quote that the Brotherhood guys use. We come up to my little bedroom, so, you know, Brotherhood, we're not about wasting space, you know, so we keep our fusion cores protected in here, so, you know, you sleep by it, you know. The fusion keeps you warm at night, keeps you nice and tucked up and safe, you know. I've got my little cuddly toy here for night time. I've got my little bedside lamp. I've got my collection of Brotherhood-approved reading material. You know, we have our government booklets. We have our Tesla magazines to read up about the technology of the day. We have our camp guide stuff, so I can learn how to survive in the waste, as well as obviously guns and bullets, because America. What else do I need to say? We then have... Oh, no, he's supposed to be asleep, but yeah, this is Gary. Gary was captured out in the wastelands, trying to harass squirrels. So we trapped him, we locked him up, and we're going to experiment on him and find out what the hell is going on inside that really small little head of his. But there's not much else to really see here. I mean, we have the scoreboard panels here that you unlock for completing the scoreboards. I've only done 2 myself, so I have the Katie Inkwell one, and the last one, which was Cold Steel. The new one is currently out, which is focused on sentient dolphins in the future taking over humanity, because, you know, in Fallout anything goes. Oh yeah, of course I had to have my little nuke-mobile up here, you know, dreaming of those sweet nukes raining down on Appalachia. Then we get to the final stage of the tower. The final stage is quite nice. This is a little recreation area, but it also serves a purpose. So we have our weights bench so we can get nice and swole. We have our speed bag so we can get ourselves all pumped up, and tactical artillery, you know, because after you've lifted some weights, you know, and worked out, there's nothing more satisfying to get that adrenaline really pumping than having a tactical artillery barrage on a location of your choice. So I can grab some grenades from that little box there when this is powered and basically nuke them back into the Stone Age. Well, not nuke per se, but artillery rounds, which is close enough. I'm sure I could probably wrangle it so it could fire nukes just for the fun of it, but it'll do. And obviously because I am an officer of the Brotherhood, you know, I have my little perks, so I have myself this glorious little hot tub with some cute little friends that my partner decided to put here for me, you know, to keep me company while I'm out here on the waste, slowly losing my mind talking to myself. But that's not all. There is a lot more to see, so I will take you downstairs now, and we will head down into the newest update, which is called a mine. So, if you weren't already aware, in this game you can have shelters, which are instanced areas that are specific to you that you can build in, and you can basically have little doors that access them, and they're completely separate to the main game world. People can come and visit them, but they are wholly unique to you. So I've been spending a lot of time recently with the new abandoned mine shelter, and this is what I have made. So again, the Brotherhood theme does continue, very evidently. The iconography is very important. So the way I've themed this is that this is an underground Brotherhood of Steel bunker, and it has been set up in such a way as to help revitalize the Brotherhood in Appalachia. So we have defenses, obviously, and you come through, and I've set this up so we have these train carts where they will have brought through different things from the waste, like different boxes and materials and all sorts of craziness that they can then loop through and repurpose in their search for old world technology to try and protect humanity, not just from itself, but from the mistakes of the past, you know. So that was the theme here. So they wheel these massive things down full of loot, and they go through them. And oh, well, this is a new one. We have a little fortune teller machine here. Let's get our fortune while we're here. Hopefully it's something good. Oh, so I've gained luck. Let's have a little look at what I got. My fortune. Okay. Don't let sleeping dogwoods die. Oh, that's a reference to the dogwoods event that you can do in the Toxic Valley, I believe, which is about getting fertilizer and refertilizing crops. Very important for the growth of the Brotherhood. But before I show you the main building there, let's have a little look around the side. So we have a war memorial again for the brothers that have fallen. This is an older piece, I just sort of repurposed it. We have some nice toxic waste, because obviously if you go into the toilet in the wasteland, the food you're eating, anything that comes out of you is going to be toxic. So, you know, we keep this stuff out of the way here. So we have our little porta-johns with toilet rolls, so we're already ahead of our current climate with COVID, so that's a plus. But now onto the main event. This took me a lot more time than I'm willing to admit. I spent a lot of time restructuring everything. So this is it. This is the Brotherhood Bunker. Okay, so we got the lovely flags from the Brotherhood event, which was the pre-launch event for the current DLC, which was a lot of fun to do. We have our defenses as normal. We have a recreation area here for playing a bit of basketball, let off a bit of steam, also get some exercise, you know, get those muscles pumping. But let's head on in. So we have these beautiful Brotherhood of Steel Armory doors. You come through, obviously you would get de-irradiated, but I've got these turned off because I'm a bloody build and I need my rats. I need them to keep strong, as much as that makes no sense. So we come into the main hub here, and obviously with the Brotherhood being very much about having their strike forces reacting quick and fast, we have the power armor benches right here in front of us. So as soon as they come in from mission, power armor comes off, they unload their gear, and they get the repairs underway, ready to go out on the next mission. We have a storage area here for storing any bits that come in, any parts that need to be repaired or anything like that, as well as access to an emergency supply cache. Once again, this side we have a relaxation area, but with the ability to change our perks so we can make sure that we're fully prepared for going out into the wastes. Next up, we enter the first of 2 scouting towers. So, in my sort of understanding of the Brotherhood, it's very much function over form, okay? So, you would eat and sleep where you work, primarily. So, you've got your bed set up with your lockers, you've got, obviously, you have to represent your Brotherhood in every way that you can. You have your preparation area here ready to go out on missions before you head on out into the wasteland. And you do all of your work here. You've got your tools, you've got your weapon crafting, your armor crafting, your bullet crafting, you've got your schematics to hand, you know, everything is all right in front of you. You know, there is an economy of space, but everything with the Brotherhood to me is efficiency first. Or at least that's the theme that I'm going with. You then move upstairs here, and this is where things get a little bit flamboyant. This is the Brotherhood officers meeting area. So they would come up here, discuss their current conquests, and also their next plans. So we would have our meeting table here. The main generals and officers of the Brotherhood would meet and discuss what their next plans of attack were in retaking Appalachia and protecting it from the super mutant hordes and all the other irradiated nasties that have spread like wildfire across the wasteland. But that's about it for up here. Very simple, very to the point. At least that's the sort of theme I was trying to go with. We head across to the second Brotherhood scouting tower. And here we have a fully decked out med bay. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, there was a med tent up on the surface. I get that, but if that gets nuked or it gets overrun, they're not going to notice that tiny little door down the back there. So we have a full backup med bay under here. So we have our chemistry station with the ability to write down any formulas that we need for new materials. We have an emergency symptomatic for helping get our soldiers back on their feet. We have a multitude of beds available. We have a doctor with no face, because for some reason they decided that they didn't want to allow us to put our allies down inside the mines. I would love to have had the allies down here. If anything, I think it would be fantastic if they allowed us to put down all of our allies so we could have a fully fleshed out shelter with all our little NPCs walking around, because I think there's like 5 or 6 different allies that you can unlock in the game. There's a Brotherhood Doctor, there is a Travelling Chef, there is a Travelling Wanderer, there's also a female Wanderer as well. I think there's another one, but I can't for the life of me remember. Oh, Punk. Yeah, there is a raider called Raider Punk, and he is obsessed with cryptids and the hidden messages in the world. So it would be great to have all of those guys out and about and interacting. But this is what I've set up here. So we have like wheelchairs for emergency use for getting our soldiers out and about and moving them around while they recover. We have also got our doctor here. And if you head upstairs, once again, we keep the iconography going. We have to represent our Brotherhood at every given moment. We then go to our therapy corner. Well, it's like a hybridized therapy. Opticians, you know, they assess you, they check you over for PTSD. You can have your eye test if you want to. But also, this is like the research wing. So they're researching our super mutants, Wendigos, which are just scary looking mothers. And then we have the Scorched. So as part of that, obviously, we're going to need to do tests. So that's checking like chunks of super mutant, testing all these Scorched to find out what makes them tick. You know, so there's a lot of work involved, and the scientists here at the Brotherhood are always busy, to the point that we also have to maintain these amazing super reactors that I've got up on top of each of the towers to power this amazing facility. But that's not all. We have another final section to have a little look at before we continue. So you come up here, and I know what you're thinking. Ooh, there's a door. Let's go in there. But first off, we're going to pop over here because we have to represent our fallen comrades in arms. Should the main memorial up on the surface get desecrated, you know, we need to immortalize our fallen brothers. We have a defensible position here so that if anyone breaking into the mine tries to get ahead, we have our turrets set up, we have our searchlights, which as you can see here are currently powered as it does get quite dark down here. But this way the Brotherhood can defend from any incoming attack quite safely. But then you go above that, and we actually, once again, we have a secondary recreation area. We have a nice big spit so that we can cook some food, keep our brothers all fed. We have workout stations once again. We have a little recreation area for us to unwind and tell stories by the fire, as well as a nice soaking pool so that people can get refreshed and basically keep the mind happy. It's very important to keep the mind happy. The final section we want to look at is this here. This prefab is one of the latest prefabs added to Fallout 76, and this is the Brotherhood Armory. And it screams Fallout 2 with the classic doors and the shaping, and I just couldn't avoid doing this. So I've added an extra section in here. I've added this floor and wall system here with these extra laser doors because this is the entrance to the armory. So we open the doors, we go through the grid here, we have like a checkpoint system going on so to make sure that you can get in safely. And then we head on down into the old armory. So we have our high-powered spears, we have plasma cutters, Gauss miniguns, plasma guns, machine guns, and again the lovely Hellstorm launcher repping the Brotherhood. We have our armor setups here. We have our casual armor, which is the new one that was added in the most recent update, which looks very nice, like a casual Brotherhood of Steel look, which is very sexy. We then have this. This is technically Enclave armor, but he's wearing a Brotherhood officer's Under Armour underneath because we've repurposed it. We've stolen it from those traitorous Enclave who are basically just trying to re-establish the old status quo, which just isn't going to work, and we've repurposed it for the Brotherhood. And then we have our officers here, like wearing the classic Elder Maxon style jacket with the goggles and the beret. We have our outfitting stations for supplies, and once again, once I've unlocked the new power armor displays, they will be going in here so I can show off my beautiful power armor. So you can imagine we will have this beautiful guy. I'll do this. We'll have this beautiful armor set up down here, because this is the new Hellcat armor that was added recently, and it is gorgeous. But enough about that. So that is the basics of the base. You know, this is what people were asking me to show off and to give you guys like the story and the insight into. And that's about it. If you'd be interested in seeing any of the other bits that I do, I'm more than happy to show them off. I may cover those in another video. But I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of my little Brotherhood base. I hope it's been informative. If you have any questions on how I do something, or why I've done something, or hell, even if you've got any ideas to help improve it, just drop a comment down there and I'll certainly give it a look. But once again, guys, thanks very much for stopping in. I know I'm ridiculously inconsistent with my content, but thanks for stopping by. See you guys.